Good morning, Lufkin Central and Online Worship Community. Jason Hollinger, the campus and community minister here. And for our time in Jesus and Coffee this morning, the title of our devotional is Troubled. Troubled. And to kick it off, I want to read to you from 1 Samuel chapter 1, verse 15. But Hannah answered, "No, my Lord, I am a woman troubled in spirit. I have drunk neither wine nor strong drink, but I have been pouring out my soul before the Lord." Again, that's 1 Samuel 1:15. Now, context is you have this woman named Hannah who, and every time you read her story, Scripture says she was a barren woman. In other words, she at this time she had no kids. And she has this rival, Penina, who has, well, she's a mother of many, and who constantly just picked on her, mercilessly. Well, her husband wondered why she couldn't fill that childless void, and so they have this pilgrimage to Shiloh, and she no more than closed out a prayer, and Eli comes to her accusing her of being drunk, and Hannah just simply says, "I'm troubled. I'm troubled." She knew the source of the redemption she longed for. In defending her fervent, passionate prayer, she just simply says, "I'm troubled." And she is just pouring out her very soul to the Lord that she's speaking when she's speaking to Eli, saying, "Oh no, but she's pouring it out to the Lord. She's praying to God. She assures Eli of her actions, that it was a result. Those words were a result of hurt and provocation. She was broken, but knew God would hear her. Man, just what a powerful testimony that is for us right now. Hannah's broken, but knew God would hear her. Some of you right now, you're experiencing the brokenness. But man, you just feel like, does anybody hear you? Is anybody listening? Well, take it from Hannah. God is listening. See, when we face times of trouble, do we live into the truth of God's constant care, or do we turn to other sources for comfort? Do we live in that constant world where God is present and aware of our cares and aware of our concerns, or do we turn to other things for comfort? Do we pour our hearts out to Him, or do we instead, drown in our sorrows and regret and self-pity or bitterness? God loved Hannah deeply, and He loves you deeply as well. And in time, He removed the burden she carried and filled her arms with a son. She didn't experience that shame anymore. She couldn't hear from Penina anymore of like, well, how come you can't? She couldn't hear from her husband, how come you can't feel that void? You see, when we face trouble, we do well to follow Hannah's example. We would do well to follow Hannah's example and believe the truth presented in 1 Peter 5:7. Cast all your anxiety on Him. Why? because he cares for you. Listen to this. 1 Samuel chapter 1. We're going to start in verse 9. Hannah got up after they ate and drank at Shiloh. Eli the priest, that's who we're talking about a while ago, was sitting on a chair by the doorpost of the Lord's tabernacle, deeply hurt. Hannah prayed to the Lord and wept with many tears. Making a vow, she pleaded, Lord of hosts, if you will take notice of your servant's affliction, remember and do not forget me, and give your servant a son. And this is what's powerful in this moment right here. A mother who is longing for a child, it makes a very powerful statement. I will give him to the Lord all the days of his life. That's the powerful part, not the part where his hair will never be cut. But she says, I will give him to the Lord all the days of his life. She is dedicating, she's making this promise. God, I will dedicate him to knowing you. I will make sure he knows you. While she continued, verse 12, praying in the Lord's presence, Eli watched her lips. Hannah was praying silently. And though her lips were moving, her voice could not be heard. Eli thought she was drunk and scolded her. How long are you going to be drunk? Get rid of your wine. No, my lord, Hannah replied. I am a woman with a broken heart. I haven't had any wine or beer. I have been pouring out my heart before the Lord. Don't think of me as a wicked woman. I have been praying from the depth of my anguish and resentment. Eli responded, Go in peace, and may the God of Israel grant the petition you have requested from him. In times of trouble, do we turn to God? Today, in times of trouble, will you turn to God and live in his constant care and comfort? Or will you seek out an answer from the world? Or will you seek out an answer from worldly things? You know, at Lufkin Central, we do a Celebrate Recovery ministry, and so much, addiction, so many people think of drugs and alcohol, but it's so much more than that. It could be overeating. It could be just trying to seek to please everyone, this living in this constant of, you're trying to make everybody happy. You're trying to appease everybody. You see, when we seek answers from the world, we deal with worldly consequences, and then we feel stuck and we don't know how to get out. And what we find, what you can find today, I'm going to make a guarantee to you, no matter what you're dealing with, what you can find today, if you're wondering, is there a way out? Take your cue from Hannah. Pour your heart out to the Lord and know that he is listening, and know that he cares. Can't wait to hear and see how it goes. Y'all have a great day. God bless.